Well, hello and welcome to Swiss Gold Global. It's my great pleasure today to welcome everyone joining us from various parts of the world. Today we're going to be having a call with Don and Nancy Failla. I don't know if Nancy's actually there, but good friends Don and Nancy. But primarily Don and Nancy over the last 20 years have built a huge organization, in fact over 1 million people in their organization of this company. But the history goes back much further than this particular company. It goes back something like 40 years when Don, of course, first put together the Own Your Life program. He'll touch on that throughout this particular presentation. Now, during today's presentation, if you have any questions, you're welcome to actually type into the chat box there. And we're going to put these questions to Don, because I can tell you right now, there's not anyone that I know better of that knows how to speak sense, common sense when it comes to network marketing, and that is Don and Nancy Failla. Don wrote the book Own Your Life, the 45-second presentation that will change your life. It's sold in excess of 7 million copies around the world. You can go to you can go to 45second.com, and there you can download, of course, free material. Now, don't see this as a book. See this as life-changing, as a life-changing structure, how to understand this particular industry. And also Don and Nancy are traveling to different events into Italy later on this year. In fact, looks like they're only 56 days out from this particular event. And also we'll be going to Osaka in Japan too, I believe. But we'll let Don touch on that. So welcome to the call, Don.
Yeah, hey, thanks a lot, Bill. Hope you're having a good day over there. You're in Switzerland now?
I am, Don, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we're having a heat wave here in Ramona, California, outside of San Diego. Got to 110 yesterday. That's hot for here.
That's very, very, very hot. Well, in the industry, 212 degrees is one of the chapters you write about, of course, in Own Your Life. Boiling point, but we'll speak a bit about that, Don. But given your long history in the network marketing industry, maybe we'll start off this sort of a chat by, you're a person that's built an organization. Now, you never do it alone, of course. It's always a team effort. But collectively around the world, you have an organization now, I believe, of over 1 million people. Maybe you'd like to touch on, of course, how many new members you have coming into your organization each month, because I know that you know it.
Well, basically, we have around 1,300, coming in a month, whether we get out of bed or not. And the thing that I'd like to kind of emphasize today is that probably the biggest problem for people in building a business and network marketing, of course, number one, they don't understand it, and that people still don't get it that we're not in sales. I mean, they just keep trying to mix the sales into the network marketing, and it doesn't work. I mean, when you historically, the person who has the least chance of making it in network marketing is a sales type. But as I say that, they can be huge, but under one condition: they have to learn network marketing. And we're actively working with our downline, building a business, and which is kind of interesting because so few people out there that have written books and so forth, they're not even doing the business, which really blows us away, because we feel if you really believe it and understand it, why wouldn't you do it? And one of the things that we've come up with, we get objections all the time. People say, well, these people, they say it's a pyramid, or it's not for real, or it's illegal, and I've been having fun with that, because I tell them, I said, look, next time you have someone, say it's a pyramid or it's illegal, you just tell them that you have talked to Don Failla, or of Don Failla, and he has and his wife have done seminars and events in over 35 countries around the world. And whenever we do an event, these are promoted months in advance. It's not like we're sneaking in the back door and putting on an event. and then running out, you know, after we're done. So people know we're there, okay? Now, wouldn't you think that if we were doing something illegal, that we would have been arrested a long, long time ago? So the bottom line, when you get that objection, it's 3 words: fear of failure. Okay, fear of failure. People, you know, they're afraid to try it, so that's been their excuse. So just say something like this to them: if I could show you where this is not an illegal business, a pyramid and so forth, would you be interested? And they'll probably say, well, no, you don't show me, because see, if you showed them, then they'd have to do it, and if they did it, they're afraid they're going to fail. So it's about a fear of failure, and you know, and it's amazing how, you know, 90% of the people in network marketing don't understand it either, and they're out looking for salespeople. Isn't that ironical? That people would be spending most of their time looking for the type of person that has the least chance of making it. That doesn't make sense, you know.
I think also, Don, you know, we live in a world today, of course, where everything is instant. So people are looking for quick gratification, or they come in with misguided expectations in one sense. They think that they're going to get in the door here, and within you know, they've been earning moderate incomes maybe for the last 20 years of their life, or 30 years of their life, and all of a sudden they're going to go from doing that to earning $50,000 per month. So I think there's also, you know, false expectations of what this you know, industry will do for the, let's say, the average person, because there is such stories where that does happen. Of course, we both know those stories, but it's quite unique, Don.
Well, and they're very, very rare. You know, see, the computer is both good and bad, okay? I'm still waiting to even know of one person who, using social media, has built a large organization, note the word recruiting, using the computer, and here's the key phrase: that has lasted, okay? I mean, these people get in, and they, you know, some of these computer geeks out there that really are slick on the computer, you know, they can put these email blasts out, and they'll communicate out to hundreds of thousands of people, and you know, and they go out and sell their name list to other people. That's where they're making their money, thinking that these people are going to get rich overnight. And the problem is that, you know, when you think about it, anybody that would sign up under someone that they never knew or met, they don't stick around, because there's so many slick things that they see on the computer that come through there that you're lucky if they're with you 2-3 weeks and they're already off onto the next deal. So that just doesn't work. I mean, you know, it takes time. If you can meet someone on Facebook, for example, and over a period of time you can get to know them, make connection and so forth, sure, then you might have a shot. But for us, we're telling people they can do in 3 to 5 years what took us 21 years because of the computer. Because like right now what we're doing, we couldn't do things like this, you know, back when we started. When we started, I mean, Al Gore hadn't discovered the internet yet, and so we didn't have any of these kind of tools: Skype, Zoom, ways of communicating, webinars, websites. You know, the old days, you know, people used to do in-home presentations. They go into someone's home for an hour and a half and tell them all about their vehicle. We haven't done an in-home presentation in years. I mean, that's all antiquated now, because once people, if they use our system and the way we teach people how to do the business, then, you know, you don't have to do that, because, you know, we use the analogy of, you know, once they understand network marketing, they know how to drive. Well, once you know how to drive, you need a vehicle. And another little analogy we use, if you own a brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari, would you let your best friend go for a drive around the block if they didn't know how to drive? Well, obviously they wouldn't do that. Well, you know, their company they think is a hot vehicle, So why they go over spending an hour and a half telling them about their hot vehicle, and those people go out and try to literally recruit people because they don't understand the difference between recruit and sponsor, and they don't have a clue how to drive. They don't understand the business. So the way we do the business, once people, they want to own their life and they understand the business, all we have to do is send them to the company website. And I'll tell you right now, if you're in a company that doesn't have a website, you need to find another company because, that's just not what's going on today. Everybody has a website that will go through all your company product and marketing plan for you. Then you follow up with a phone call. So, the thing, I've got one person in particular that I've been working with here recently, and he just loves talking to people about owning their life. I had a conversation with last night. He signed up a person here about a few weeks ago. It's a good friend of his. He's known for years. And the guy is a multi-millionaire, so he doesn't need to make money. And he got him on a call with me, and we had this conversation, okay? Well, all of a sudden, he's calling me last night. He says, hey, this guy sponsored somebody. And he says, what I said to him when we were having the call is that, Nancy and I, we don't have to work anymore. But our mission statement is we want to help as many people as we can while we're on this planet have a better quality of life and own their life. So it's about helping other people. Well, that sunk into this millionaire's head, and now he wants to help other people, so he's starting to build a business. So the Own Your Life approach is so strong. It's another analogy we use here. It's when you use it, it's like putting a little stone in a person's shoe. Everybody's experienced having a stone in their shoe, and they keep walking along. They just don't really deal with it. But see, the difference is the stone that we put in their shoe has the ability to grow. And I love talking to young people who have little kids that, by the time, they get to 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old, they're playing in a sport, and the kid says, Dad, can you come to my soccer match on Thursday afternoon? And you got to tell them you got to go to your job. Well, see, that person does not own their life. And there's thousands and thousands of things that can make that little stone grow. And once they get that into their head, so that's why we wear the pin. It says, you'll see it on the bottom of the screen there, own your life. And people, if they look at it but don't ask, we say, I suppose you want to know what this means. And then I just tell them it stands for time, money, and health. And I say, most people don't even know anybody that has all three. Young people, millennials, if they're making 60 to 100,000 a year, sure, they have a little money, but they don't have any time. Their health's okay. Older people, they have plenty of time. They're running out of money, and their health shot. In America, 80 million baby boomers have retired over the last few years, and the studies show that they had an average of $5,000 saved up for their retirement. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if you guys have Walmart over where you're at, but you can't believe how many 70, 75, 80-year-old people are greeters at Walmart. Is that the kind of future you want to have? So once they get it into their head about owning their life and that this is something they can do, and they could be there in like 3 to 5 years. We're telling people that you can have the equivalent of 5 to 10 million in the bank in 3 to 5 years if you get involved with us in network marketing. And it takes like less than a minute to be able to show them how they could do that. You sponsor 5, just say to them, how long would it take you to find 5 of your friends that would like to have $5 to $10 million in the bank in 3 to 5 years? Now they're going to say, well, about as long as it'll take me to get to my Facebook. Well, fine. You get your 5 people, help them get 5, that's 25. Help them get 5, that's 25. You've got 155 people now that are in your organization. So when you read the book and you understand network marketing, napkin presentation 4 talks about your business should look like a big building, and you got to dig the foundation first. So now you've dug the foundation, but watch when you take 5 times 125, now you go to 600. You're in the business now 2 years, then it goes to 3,150. So by the time you get to 3 to 5 years, you're making over $5,000 to $10,000 a month part-time. Okay, do you realize in America you'd be lucky if you could get $5,000 to $10,000 if you had $5 to $10 million in the bank? So a little presentation like that. This is what we talk about with people. We don't go talking about our, see, whenever you talk about your products first or your service, whatever, no matter how you do it, they think you're trying to sell them something. And 95% of the people don't want to sell. They're going to run the other way. And that's where your masses are. You know, now granted, there are some salespeople who've made it real big in network marketing with the old sales talk of throw enough against the wall, something's going to stick. Well, the non-sales type, the masses, they cannot do that, okay? Most people, you know, and I haven't had anybody that's ever disagreed with me on this, but when you think about it, most people don't have 3 to 5 really good friends. That's about it. So you've got to be able to go with them so they can understand network marketing, that it's something that they can do. When we do events, I always start off by asking the people, when you sponsor a new person in your business, how much teaching and training time does it take you before your new person, you know, can go out and start sponsoring? Can you train them enough in 1 to 2 hours? No. How about 2, 3 days? No. They say, well, how many of you have been in the business and have people with you 3 to 4 months and they still haven't sponsored anybody? And you'd be amazed how many people respond to that. Well, then I simply ask, well, you want to know why they haven't sponsored anybody? The answer is so simple. Because nobody taught them something that they can do. And that's what we do. We teach people something they can do, and it doesn't take days, weeks, months. We can do it in 10, 15 minutes, and I'll abbreviate it for you right now. All you have to do is talk to people you know, about what they want. And we all know that, you know, everybody wants freedom, and that's basically owning your life, having time, money, and health, okay? We already know that. So you can have a conversation with a friend. You don't have to be a super salesperson to talk to someone about what they want. Once you find out what they want, then you ask them, well, how do you think you're going to get it? See, they already know they can't get it from a job. They already know, you know, the traditional business is out because we're talking about the masses. They couldn't afford a franchise or a traditional business, and if they could, they will own you. I mean, we owned an international house of pancakes for 4 years. I had 35 teenage employees, open 24/7. I had 3 days off in 4 years, so I know what it means not to own any of your life. So we just put it right in their face up front. The only way that the masses are ever going to hope to own their life is in network marketing. But see, now I know that people have heard about it, they've got misconceptions about it and all this, and I just flat out tell them, but here's the problem. 100% of the people in the world not in network marketing do not understand it. Now I could be talking, I love talking to people who've been in 3, 4, 5 programs over the last 10, 5 years and they've never made it, okay? And so I'm telling them that 100% of people not in it don't understand it. Well, the person's not in it right now, and they try to tell me they understand network marketing. I says, no, you really don't. You just put it in their face. You really don't, because if you did, you'd be in your first or second company making a fortune now, okay? So basically, 80 to 90% of people in it don't understand it. It's amazing how many company owners don't understand. See, what happens is these people that own these companies, so many of them come from sales backgrounds, they come up with, they think, the holy grail of a health product, a hot product, so they want to go out and find people to sell their hot product. Well, see, they don't realize that only 8% of the population are really into health. Now, anybody would argue that you measure the square footage of the health food stores compared to the supermarkets, you won't have 8%. Go to your busiest mall and, stand there for an hour at the busiest street corner in your town and count all the fat and obese people go by, and you tell me if people are into health. They're not into health. So here you are trying to sell a hot health product when 95% of the people don't want to have anything to do with sell, and you've got a small market. Do you realize that our market is almost 100%? Because we look for people who want something. That's 95% of the population. 95% want something. Okay, the 5% on the top, they have it all. So, we say they can make great customers. So we've got a huge, huge market to deal with. So all we have to do is talk to them about what they want, how to get what they want. The only way is network marketing. So how they're going to, the next step is obvious. They need to understand network marketing. So that's where the book comes in, okay? The book has actually now gone over 9 million copies, and it's in over 20 languages, and we're in the process now of adding Arabic, Malaysian, Indonesian, Singapore, Greece. These are all new languages that are come on. So because these companies are worldwide, you can use the book worldwide to teach. It's like the driver's manual. People, when they read the book and they understand network marketing, now they know how to drive, okay? Once they know how to drive, they'll get on any vehicle that you show them, okay? Another thing, too, I like to address this one because this just recently came up where this person is about ready to sponsor this person who's been in customer service with another company for 10 years that just recently went bankrupt and was bought out by another company. But it suddenly turns out that this person has a relative, this person lives I think on the East Coast, and they have a relative in Washington that's in that same business. So the person, they start getting a little nervous thinking, well, gee, they're going to probably want to sign up under their family member or their relative and so forth. And I said, well, are they actually active building business? No. And I said, well, look all you have to do is explain to people there's two kinds of decisions people can make, emotional and business, okay? If you want to make an emotional decision, then go with your relative, okay? If you want to make a business decision, go with us because we know how to teach you how to, like the guy says on Shark Tank, make the money, okay? If you want to make the money, you need people that can mentor you that understand the business. And that's what's wrong with our industry right now is, and I said this for years, that it's the biggest industry in the world where the blind are leading the blind, okay? People who don't really have a clue about how to drive and really understand network marketing are trying to teach other people how to do it, okay? So that's probably why Nancy and I will never retire, because we're having too much fun, traveling around the world, letting people know how to drive so they can own their life. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, hi, Don. A lot of great information there. I just put the book up there so people can actually see it. And again, I just encourage people to, what Don always says that, and he said it again here, is that 100% of people who are not in the industry don't understand it, and probably 95% of people in it don't understand it. Well, if you read through the introduction to this book, go through the core chapters that's provided, you'll have a great understanding, and it's a duplicatable process. It's really part of the leadership and part of the training. So you can go to the website and you can get the key chapters for free. And Don's also got a workbook there as well, which is for training for your teams and your groups. It's absolutely fantastic. But I wanted to touch on a point. You made a couple of points earlier in regarding to the wealthy millionaire, of course, and also primarily what you're saying is people have to know their purpose, have to know their why they're actually here in one sense. And you've been speaking about, of course, it's owning your life, it's owning your time and your freedom, which is really, I think everybody wants to have that. You also touched on, Don, and relatively quick, you can show people in a matter of minutes how to put the equivalent of $5 or $10 million into the bank. I just wanted to touch on this point because many people don't understand this, and primarily You know, what you're saying is, when you look at today's interest rates in America, maybe 1%, even just to earn $50 residual income per month, if you wanted to get that from a bank at 1%, you'd have to have the equivalent of $60,000 in the bank to give you $50 a month. If you wanted to earn $60,000 a year, you'd have to have $6 million in the bank. And of course, who has that? So the great thing about these multi-level marketing companies such as what we have here with our daily payouts, our crypto payouts, and of course our affiliate program, you can earn that relatively easy. And it's the equivalent of putting those large numbers in the bank, Don, when you compare to how a bank would actually pay you in the United States right now. Is that the point you were making?
Exactly. It's just, you know, there's so many different ways you can phrase that same thing that, you know, people, you know, will work. And another thing, too, when you think about how people go to college for 4 years and then another 2 years get an MBA, they're massively in debt. They're lucky if they can get a good job. Then they're going to work for 40 years and end up broke. Now, what's wrong with these people? Why don't they see? We're kind of going in the direction of letting people know that they need to be educated. Now, why don't you get a degree in network marketing? So I tell people, you want to get a degree in network marketing, then read the book, okay? When you've read the book, it's like you've got your degree in network marketing, and when you go through the action book, it's like a workbook, then you've got a deeper understanding. Now it's like you've got a master's degree. So how would you like to get a master's degree in network marketing in 1 to 3 weeks? And with that, you could be financially independent in 3 to 5 years, and you can do it right along with while you're spending all that money going to college or whatever it else is you're doing. I mean, it's just insane why more people, you know, of course, they just, again, don't understand. And the way people approach people about the business, right away, they say, oh, that's one of those pyramids, you know, because of the way the person's approaching, or I don't want to sell, you know, because they're selling them first, which is crazy. But people need to start thinking about education, and it doesn't hurt to learn something before you try doing it.
Yeah, Don, maybe you'd like to touch on the 45, why you named it the 45-second presentation. I've actually put it up on the screen there so everyone can see it.
Yeah, well, you know, they can read the thing. It's like, you know, when you subtract out the sleeping time, working time, and things that you have to do each and every day of your life, most people don't have 1 or 2 hours a day of their life to do what they would like to do, and then would they have the money to do it. We have discovered a way a person can learn how to own their life by building a home-based business, and we have a system for doing it that is so simple, anybody can do it. It doesn't require any selling of any sort, and the best part, it won't take much of your time. That, in a normal speech pattern, takes 45 seconds. And if a person can't learn to say that, right, put it on the back. We have it on the back of our business card. You know, that's all you have to do. And have people read that. And, you know, it's amazing. People will relate to that because they know what they're doing isn't working.
Well, when I was first introduced this in the early 1990s, it really did change the way I was doing multi-level marketing. You know, my background was hotels, but we're also involved in a nutritional company in Melbourne, Australia, and it was introduced about 1993, 94. I think you may have just toured prior to then through Australia with Nancy. So yeah, it makes it much easier because when you read that, everybody wants to have that. Everybody can actually relate to that particular message. So again, I just want to emphasize Don's providing this material for you. This has been proven in the marketplace for 40 years. He's built one of the largest organizations known in the industry. It's simple. It's great to understand. And, you know, you can take steps forward. You relate to it. When you read this, when you read the chapters that Don provides, even the free chapters, you relate to it. You'll get it. And I think when other people read, when you hand it out to other people, they will get it as well. Because that's primarily how you work with it, Don, wasn't it? You give out these greeting cards with the 45-second presentation, and that would be the start of the communication, correct?
Correct. You know, another thing I didn't mention, too, is that you know, of the over 1 million people that have come into our organization in a period of 21 years, 95% of those people come from the original 4 people we sponsored. So it's not about how many people you can recruit. It's, you know, people think it's like sales type, you know, it's like recruit people to sell for you. Well, we don't do that. We sponsor people, so we go to work for them. And the deeper you go, the stronger it gets, because if I sponsor you, Bill, then we're working for you. But when you sponsor someone, you're working for them, we're working for them, they sponsor someone. So if you do this right, it keeps getting stronger the deeper you go.
Yes, I just put up part of your presentation from napkin presentation number 10, and the numbers, the compounding of the numbers are very, very exciting. This is really the thing that got me involved in the MLM industry. One, I love the products, the health products. Number 2, on the business side, I just got the numbers. I mean, I was running hotels, my own businesses, but when I saw the power of these numbers, that you didn't have to go out and enroll hundreds and hundreds of people yourself. You just get with a few good people, like 5 or 6 good people, work with them and duplicate. You can truly, over a period of a year to 2 years, build yourself a substantial residual income. At the hotel, I had to show up every day, open the doors and close the doors, etc. Well, this came in, as you said earlier on, Don, whether I turned up or not, it was coming into my account. And that's the sort of income that I like, and I'm sure many people on this call like as well.
Well, talk about overhead, okay? How much overhead did you have in those hotels? I mean, my overhead with over 1 million people in our downline, I mean, I don't even have a secretary.
Yeah, well, you can relate to it to your restaurant too, Don. I mean, you have days in business where it's quiet, so you still got your kitchen operation, you still got your front of house operation happening, and of course, no customers there ringing the cash register. So, you know, the overheads are there, no question about that, and the responsibility, etc. I loved it, of course, but you didn't have the time freedom that this industry and opportunity can provide. Now, before we finish up the call, Don, I know we're on the time now. I'm just going to see if anyone has any particular questions for Don. So if you have any questions, please type it into the control panel here, and we're going to ask Don on your behalf. I also know, Don, that you and Nancy have been on about 86 cruises. I don't know.
89.
89 cruises, and of course they've all been business cruises in this industry, correct?
You got it.
Yeah, that's living your life. Okay, I've got a question from John Zia. Can you ask Don why he chose SGG as his primary business? Well, Don's not actually in SGG. John, just so that you know, I'll be transparent about this. Don and Nancy support us very, very much. I've had the pleasure of knowing Don and Nancy for a long time. They like what we do. Don and Nancy have been at our events, but they're actually not affiliates of Swiss Gold Global. Is that correct, Don?
Yeah, well, we've been with the company we're with now for like 21 years. You know, we've been totally in the industry for 50. You know, we've had our materials now for about 40, like you said. So it's just that, you know, to work a couple major effort programs, it's not the easiest thing to do. Most people couldn't do it anyway. So, you know, we try to stay focused on what we've been doing. And when we do seminars and trainings all over the world, we always do them neutral, because what we teach works with all the companies, regardless of the style of the marketing plan too.
Correct. And that's, John, just so your information, that's primarily, I recognized a long time ago in this industry that we needed to have a training program, not just someone that, as Don said earlier on, that just writes a book in this industry, has never built an organization, but someone who'd been living this and breathing this for many, many years. And there's many trainers out there, many great trainers out there, but I really do, I do like the core information that Don and Nancy provide in their material, and certainly stood the test of time. Are there any other questions coming in before we finish up this particular call? One from Christina. Hi, Christina. You're in Switzerland too, I believe. Let me just have a look here. Okay, getting paid a commission for every sale, calling it affiliate marketing rather than network marketing, is that a barrier?
No, not really. You know, people call it all kinds of different things, but you know, we don't even get to that. And first things first, and that's people need to understand network marketing and need to know how to drive. Then you get to the vehicle, and you know, there's so many different vehicles out there. You know, there's matrices, binaries, unilevels, stair-step breakaways, and it's like, you know, like different car companies. You know, within each one of them, you have, you know, total variations, thousands of variations. So we don't get too hung up on what they call the marketing plan, and just that's not important.
Okay, I don't see any other further questions coming in at this time. I'll put up you have two events coming up where you and Nancy are traveling to. Your first one's you're coming over to Europe. You're going to be in Italy, correct, Don?
Well, actually, the first one's in Osaka, the 14th of September, and then the next event we're going to be in Orlando. There's a big event there with. They've got 20 speakers that are lined up. Nancy and I are two of the 20 speakers. It's a 3-day event, and people, if they can't make it to Orlando to the event, they are doing a live streaming to the world, and I think they're charging $97 to do that, and that's something that you can keep and use over and over and over again too. So that's coming up the end of September. And then the end of October, around the 28th, we'll be in Bologna, Italy.
That's great. We might see you down there in Italy. I've just had a comment coming from Matthias. Thank you for commenting, Matthias. He's grateful for the call and looks forward to getting the book. I mean, this book is not expensive. In fact, I don't like even to call it a book. It's really a life-changing program. I mean, I think Don charges $10 or $11, and he gives a 20% discount to members of Swiss Gold Global, which is very gracious of him and Nancy. So if you want to buy Don's book, please just send a ticket to contact@swissgoldglobal.com, and we'll get the promo code across you to that Don's provided us, and you'll get a 20% discount, which is a couple of dollars off the book's value. But you can go there as well, as I said, and you can start to get the feeling of what this is about, because Don is generous and provides a lot of free information on the website as well. So without further ado, Don, I want to thank you very much for your time today. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this particular session. We'll make this available in the back office, members account back office, for reviewing, and we look forward to hopefully getting you on another call in the future, Don. But we wish you many safe, successful travels.
Yeah, I'm going to send to you a link for the event in Orlando, and so anybody that's interested, they can contact you, and you can get that to them.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Don. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. We wish you all a wonderful weekend, and look forward to seeing you on our Swiss Gold Global call tomorrow. And don't forget, next week we have international attorney from the US, Carolina Oliveras, on a training call as well. So thank you so much, and goodbye to everyone.
Thank you, Bill.